Hello there, and today we're going to be taking a first look at this. Now this is a Squier Showmaster from, I think it's about 2000, so its serial number starts with 03, so it's probably around 2003. This is my friend's guitar, his first guitar from when he started learning. He's also got my Epiphone that I sold to him. Yeah, so he's had this for years. I believe this guitar's about 10 or 15 years old, something in that region. One humbucker, 2 single coils. They will be ceramic pickups most likely because it's Squier and that's what you expect. It's got 1 master volume and 1 master tone, as you'd expect. Is it 3-way or 5-way? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a 5-way switch. There we go. So we'll find out what that does. It has 5 and a bit strings because this one's broken down here, completely knackered. So this is a maple neck rosewood board. The body is most likely basswood. You can look up Squier spec from around that era, but things tend to be a bit shady as they used to change wood supplier based on availability at the time to keep the cost down. So it's most likely basswood or something like that. It is wood because I can see a chip and there is wood underneath, so it's not ply or anything horrible like that. The finish is thick poly. It's got a small Squier block, if you can have a look in the back. The bridge is a generic sort of import style, but it's got the 2 posts either side rather than 6 screws, which arguably is better for tuning stability. The tuners are Squier, they're no name. They'll probably be fine, there's not really much wrong with these. Right, now I've gone through the spec, let's see if it makes any noise. Trying to tune it, but it either won't stay in tune or the intonation's off. Seeing as most of these saddles are in line, it's possible the intonation's off, but either way, this has got 10 to 46 on it, or it feels like 10 to 46. And he's happy for me to set it up with a set of 10 to 52s, which is what I use and what he's got used to, because that's how I set up my SG. Get out of the way. No one likes you. Ugh. So yeah, the strings won't hold tune and probably won't even intonate properly because they're so horrifically old. The nut will probably need to be widened slightly because we're going to put 10 to 52s on here rather than 10 to 46. So these thicker strings especially are going to be a higher gauge. So we'll need to very slightly widen the nut slots just so it doesn't grab the string. We're going to be snipping the strings off. This jack socket is ridiculous and loose, so we'll be fixing that. I'll probably lower these single coil pickups because I find that with cheap pickups, especially single coils, if you lower them into the body, they sound better. I don't know why, they just do. And also we'll look into changing the capacitor, see what's in there, because I've got a load of orange drops and I might pop one in because it just brighten, spruce the whole sound up, make it a bit more warmer, a bit richer, a bit thicker, a bit nicer. Position 2, so this is the humbucker, position 2. So onto position 2, this is the humbucker and the middle single coil. And no, the strings won't stay in tune. Middle, this is just the middle single coil on its own. two pickups together. And neck pickup. Let's do a little bit of drive. Let's see how this works out. So let's go from front again to back. So it's the humbucker. Middle pickup. Neck pickup. So, there we go. It all works, all the electronics still work, so kudos to Squier on that. Yes, that was a string flipping past my forehead. The neck's got a lot of dings in it. Gonna leave that alone for now. I'm not gonna do anything that's irreversible or any major surgery on this. All I'm gonna do is keep it stock. I mean, the most I would ever do is change the capacitor. Everything else seems to work fine. I'm gonna leave it exactly as it is. You know, it's not my guitar. I'm not gonna go messing with it. I've asked my mate if he's okay with me changing the capacitor, and he says, go ahead, fill your boots. If you reckon it's going to help, go for it. I wouldn't do anything else to this guitar, especially not without his permission. But everything else on it seems to work fine. The tuners, I mean, the action on them's fine. It's just the old strings won't hold tune, like, at all. So, the plan with this is snip the strings off, give her a good old clean. The bridge down here seems rather rusty, so I'm going to be taking that apart and oiling it and putting it back together. I'd have to set it up again anyway with 10 to 52s because the intonation is going to be different from a set of 10 to 56s. I'm going to take the strings off, I'm going to strip down the bridge, I'm going to use contact cleaner to make sure it doesn't get all rusty and to lubricate all the parts, and I'm going to put it back together, and I'm going to oil the fretboard, we're going to clean it, check the nut so the string doesn't grab, we're going to restring it with 10 to 52s. I might change the capacitor, who knows, it's just one thing at a time. I most likely will end up doing it. I'm going to make sure that the tuner bushings are nice and tight, because if they're loose that can contribute to your guitar not staying in tune. And I'm just going to give it a setup, basically. The key with this is keeping everything low cost. I just want to make this guitar the best it can be in its current form, unmessed with, because it is my friend's guitar and he does love this thing. So I just want to see if I can get it playing better for him, and use everything on this and just see how good we can get this as is, as you would take it off the second-hand rack. So this is a brief overview of the Squier Showmaster I'm going to be doing up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. So until then, bye.
Bye!